Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this webinar entitled PIM Helps Sustainably Boost Sales and Costs. My name is Brendan Murray, and I am a Content Marketing Manager here at Akeneo. And I am joined this morning by Rodrigo Neves, a Technology Officer at Midland Scientific. Rodrigo is nice enough to join us this morning to tell us a little bit about the story of Midland Scientific and Akeneo PIM and how the two came together to help Midland Scientific achieve a whole list of great outcomes that he's going to tell you about. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it off to our guest Rodrigo to tell us a little bit more about Midland and their experience with Akeneo PIM.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, everyone. So my name is Rodrigo Neves. I'm a technology officer here at Midland Scientific. Today, I'm going to be talking about how we are using Akeneo to streamline our content process, reducing our costs, and still being able to improve the customer experience in our different channels. So talking a little bit about Midland Scientific, we have been in the market in the last 45 years, and we are a full line distributor of lab supplies and chemical products. When I say full line, I mean everything that a company would need to use in a laboratory, we would make that available for them. So all consumables like beakers, flasks, gloves, bottles, also equipment like balance and ovens or thermometers or different types of instruments like microscopes, even the workbench and the chair. So everything that they would need for their lab, we are offering for them. So we are a woman-owned business and also an ISO certified company. We have 5 customer centers and 6 distribution centers in the United States. We also have an e-commerce platform, and we are now in the process of creating a new Magento website. We are excited about the results that the content is producing so far and the integration with Akeneo, and we should be releasing our new website in the next few weeks. So talking a little bit about our customers, we have around 3,500 customers active in North America, and you can see in the slide some of them. So some of our customers, for example, are in the food and beverage and agriculture industry, and these companies are producing the products that we are consuming every day. So some of them have an internal laboratory that is trying to guarantee the quality of what they are producing, and they do different types of testing to identify all the chemical components and also guarantee there's not any residue or any agrotoxics or anything that could be bad for humans or and other animals to consume. So the quality is something that is really important for our customers. We also have some customers on the research laboratory, companies on the wastewater facility, mining, research and development of new products, companies just trying to identify components of new products that they are producing, and also some on the petroleum, biofuel, and environmental testing. I spent some time talking about our customer base just to give you guys an idea of how important product content is for our customers. We have a lot of super technical customers trying to find the right information for the products, and the information for our products is a key part on their buying decision. And to make it more complex, we have big variety of products. So right now we have almost 400 different categories on our PIM, coming from more than 2,000 different suppliers in a total of 400,000 suppliers on our website. We could easily go to 1 million products in the next few years with the amount of products available from our suppliers. So managing all of that information, it's a big challenge for us. So talking a little bit how we were before Akeneo, we didn't have a PIM system before. So we were trying to manage all the content, all the attributes inside our ERP system. And also we had a different database for our catalog software as well. So just having 2 sources of data was a big challenge, because sometimes the data in our printed catalog was different than the website. So it was creating some inconsistency. And also to upload all the information, we had to use a lot of spreadsheets, and managing all of that spreadsheets between users and editors and people reviewing the content was a nightmare. All of that process, it was really hard for us to manage the quality of the data that we were producing. We didn't have any control over the fields, and we would only see the end results on the website, and trying to manage that way was super inefficient because we would upload the data and wait until the data was published either on the website or on the catalog, and then later we would realize that we had to make a change and go through all that process again. So it was inefficient and time consuming. So in 2017, we decided to look in the market for a PIM system, and we interviewed a lot of companies, and we found out about Akeneo. So this was the architecture that we designed when we meet with Akeneo. So we would still create all of our products in our ERP system. We would get data from suppliers also, and some data our team would be collecting. And then our goal was to publish the data on the website, also in the printed catalog, and reutilize some of our data back in our ERP system. One of the things that we were able to improve when we started using Akeneo was the efficiency of our process. We realized that we had to have different roles. So the editor would be the person collecting the data and going to the supplier's website and making sure all of the data is in a consistent format. One of the challenges that we have also, because we have different a huge variety of suppliers, that each one of them format the data in a different way. So we had to have internal people going to, even when the suppliers were sending the data to us, to go there and format and put the data on the standard format, so that way when our shoppers were going to our website, they would see the data on the same format and would make it easier for them to compare. Because we were using a web-based solution, we were able to let our editors also to work from home. So whenever they want to work, they could work at night, they could work over the weekends. We would give them a lot of flexibility of when they would be able to work. But also we would need someone to approve and review what they are doing. So we created approver roles, so the person would review everything that this editor is doing and make sure that we are guaranteeing the quality. And because of the amount of products that we had in the beginning, we decided to only focus on important items. So we make the decision of just in the beginning try to only enrich the content for the equipment, the top seller items, and the items that we have in stock. And because of the setup that we created, that we had a lot of people working from home in the beginning, we start questioning ourselves, how are we going to guarantee that people are really working, how we're going to control their productivity. So then what we decided to do, we use the teamwork system functionality from Akeneo and also the payroll information that we had, and we start creating a daily report comparing the number of items that they were able to enrich against their hours. So in the first week, we told our team that we would be monitoring their hours and we would be sharing that data with them. Some of them didn't believe. So after the first week, we had to have a meeting with some of them just to show them that we were able to see the hours that they were logging and also how much they were producing. And after 5 weeks, we were able to almost double our productivity. So this is something that is still help us to monitor who are the editors that are producing more, identify some potential issues with a specific category, something that they might be struggling with and they are not letting us know. So it's a good way to not only making sure that they are working and also, but when they are struggling on something, figuring out and being able to reach them out as well. After that, after we were able to control their productivity, we start investing more time trying to guarantee the data quality. So one of the things that we started realizing since the beginning in this approval process is that there was a lot of back and forward between editors and approvers, because sometimes also even the approvers were not catching some of the issues, and because just looking at the data the way it is, the ways that you are enriching the content, it's really hard to see how that is going to look on the website. So then we decided just to create a preview for the approver to see how the data would look on the website. But even after doing that, there was still a lot of back and forth between the editor itself and the approver, because the editor couldn't see when they were collecting the data, the mistakes that they were making when the data for the products were going to the website. So what we decided to do was just customize the PIM and create a web preview. So right after they collect all the content, they would be able to just go to this website preview to make sure that the description, for example, for all the different part numbers was consistent on the same format. They were not forgetting to fulfill any specific item for a product that was under a group of products that should have similar attributes. And doing this also helped the editor to be more engaged, because they were able to see right away what a customer would see on the website. And we asked them to try to think as a customer trying to purchase one of these items, to think at that way to see which information you would be looking for, how you should be putting your description, what are the attributes, how they should be sorted. So just customizing that way, increase that productivity, increase the quality, and also their engagement. The next step that we did was investing some time also in the approval process. So Akeneo has a feature called sequential edit, that you can select big number of products and just add it one by one, just clicking on the next button. So we asked our approvers to invest more time trying to make sure that the data was consistent between products. So we create this screen where they would be able to just easily mark if the items were okay or send them back to the editor. So that way they were guaranteeing the quality of each product individually, but also the consistent between products in the same category. One of the big key things that Akeneo offers us is just the flexibility. We are taking a lot of advantage of that. They have really strong core features, but also having the flexibility to change them to adapt to our process is something huge for us. And also, one of the important things in our industry is that a lot of new equipment are being created all the time, and new set of products. Sometimes we are going to a different industry as well, and we need to create new categories of products, new attributes. And this is something super easy to do in Akeneo and super easy to manage. So it's really important for us to being able to customize Akeneo for our process as we change as well. And after we had set up Akeneo, we started realizing that we could use also not only for the product information that would display on the website, but also to store any information related to the products. We start collecting the hazard data for some of our hazard products and storing that and sending back to the ERP system. So we have some documents and specific information that needs to be collected for shipping, and we start successfully using Akeneo for that as well. And another thing that we started doing recently is managing the suppliers' information related to product content in Akeneo as well. Some of our suppliers, they don't offer us a lot of help sending the information to us, but because our main focus is our customers, even when they don't offer good support, we try to find ways to search for that product information and put it on the website. But, way to compensate the ones that are helping us, we created a ranking. So if we are able to enrich and complete the content for all the products for a specific supplier, we give them a high score, and we are going to be using that on the search for our new website. So it's something that is potentially going to be helping us to get more information and more help from our suppliers as well. And also any logos and any supplier information that we need to manage on our new website, we are going to be using Akeneo for that as well. And after we were more mature with our process and we were able to control the quality, we decided to try to enrich content faster. So last year, during last summer, we decided to hire 30 content editors and put them all working at the same place, working 3 hours per day, 5 days per week in 2 different shifts. So 15 in the morning, 15 in the afternoon. We had 4 people monitoring what they were doing, and the results were great. So we were able to enrich content for almost 6,000 products. We realized that Akeneo is a platform super easy to use because our editors didn't have any troubles learning about the platform. We just have to invest time explaining what they had to do and what are parameters to guarantee the quality of they were producing. Because we were controlling the productivity and monitor everything that they were doing, we were able to identify the best editors and let them keep working with them after the summer, keep working with us. And also the other thing that we realized we didn't have, in the beginning we thought that we would have a lot of turnover just because it's a repetitive work. They are going through a lot of items all the time. So, but we didn't have a turnover. So this was another factor that helped us to indicate that Akeneo was an easy platform to use, and also the way that we were set up, just 3 hours per day, was a good choice as well. So we were super happy about the results, and we were able to produce a lot of content really fast as well. So also just giving an update, we were thinking to implement the same project this year as well, but because of the coronavirus situation, we wouldn't be able to put all of the people working on the same spot. So we decided to start the same process 2 weeks ago, but having all people working from home because Akeneo is a web-based solution. So, and all of our editors were already trained, so it was easier for us to just create a couple webinars and review the content process with them and teach them again what they have to do. And we are seeing similar results again this year. We are still able to monitor their hours and making sure that they are working, and we are getting really good results as well this year. Another big factor is the cost savings. So we did an analysis of how much we were investing before and how much we were producing. So before we think that we invest around $100,000, and we were, after we migrate everything to PIM, we think that we had 20,000 items, 100% complete. And even in some of these items, we have inconsistency, we have poor quality, and we know that this was a really inefficient process. And right now, with the way that we are set up, we already complete more than 100,000 items. We are almost 110,000 now. And the cost for us is, for enrich the content, is $1 per item. So we are really satisfied, really happy with the way that Akeneo is helping us on our content process. Is definitely helping us to save money and being more efficient. And the only gaps that we are seeing now that we're investing time with Akeneo team now is trying to introduce some automation. So they have a product called Frankly, and we just signed up with them last month. And that is potentially going to help us to do some automation in this data collection and also on the data quality side. So we are really excited about the results that can produce to us as well. We still know that some of the products we're still going to have to be manually going through them and guaranteeing that they are consistent and doing some enrichment on the marketing side as well to promote the products. But we are seeing the results that just having everything on the same place in an organized way, in a way that you can monitor and control the productivity and guaranteeing the quality of the products, the results that is producing as well. We are about to release a new website, and just the way the data is formatting is helping a lot on the search. Search is something that we were always trying to improve, and just having the data all organized and have a good search engine is potentially going to help us a lot on the search as well on the new website. So now I'm going to be passing back to Brendan.
Thank you very much, Rodrigo. Obviously, a very interesting and inspiring story for other companies in your position or the position you were in a little while ago, looking at adopting a PIM solution of their own. And I want to take a few minutes here at the end. I promise I won't go too long to talk about how Akeneo helps companies like Midland Scientific and hundreds of others improve their product information and why product information and product experience are so important to success in the omnichannel age. And that's really because in all aspects of commerce, customer expectations are much, much higher than they've ever been before. As you can kind of see on the screen there, omnichannel rules today, and customers really expect to be able to access products and services from anywhere and at any time. And they especially expect their product experience to be specifically tailored to the device they're using. They expect to easily be able to find accurate, consistent, and up-to-date data at the snap of a finger. And they also expect you to anticipate these needs before they've ever logged on to your site or opened your mobile app. That means you need to be able to move quickly in order to keep up with changing buyer behaviors and customer habits, and you need to do all of that without increasing the errors and inconsistencies in your product information, because honestly, while it might be nice if this were true, simply being omnichannel isn't enough. Time and time again at Akeneo, we see that the companies that come out on top are the ones offering exciting and compelling customer experiences. But of course, offering these experiences can be very complicated in the modern age. Being omnichannel means being in several places at once. If you look at the screen now, you have all your different channels kind of represented here, whether that's your brick and mortar stores, print catalogs, owned e-commerce channels like your branded website or mobile app, marketing channels like affiliates and social selling networks, and even distribution channels, such as wholesale retailers and third-party marketplaces. Each of these dozens, even hundreds of channels as we move forward and channels continue to proliferate, each has its own set of rules, its own set of regulations, requirements, and best practices. So that means in order to list your products on, let's say, Amazon, you'll need to provide a far different collection of product information and do so in a different format and a different way than you would on, say, eBay, for example, or on a wholesaler's website, or even on your own branded e-commerce store and mobile app. And what's more, as the number of channels continues to proliferate, so do the different rules and requirements that you have to manage. So if you are selling on dozens or even hundreds of channels, that means dozens and hundreds of sets of product information you need to manage. And managing all that can be very complicated, it can be very messy, and you need to have the right weapons in your product information arsenal. But it's a really important process because you can't simply offer the exact same information to your customers the same exact way across all of your different channels and through all your different touch points. At Akeneo, we always like to say that there is no one experience to rule them all. Instead, brands and retailers need to create compelling experiences that cater to the requirements and context of each channel. It means using the unique capabilities and properties of e-commerce, mobile apps, local assistants, social media networks, or other sales channels to develop experiences that are distinct from one another while remaining consistent with a brand's identity. Because no matter what channel you craft an experience for, it all starts at the same place, and that's with your product experience. With PIM or product information management, you can take control of your product experience and make it easier to more effectively manage your product data. Akeneo PIM makes it easier than ever to manage that product data from all of your different sources and process it to create a picture-perfect product experience easily and efficiently. It helps you import product data from the long list of possible sources, including everything from your ERP, as Rodrigo mentioned earlier, to your external suppliers. Then it walks you through the process of collecting, standardizing, enriching, contextualizing, and even distributing data to your different channels. And with features like automation, a business rules engine, product completeness tracking, data validation, teamwork assistant, and more, Akeneo PIM helps make sure you can create compelling experience with less time and with fewer errors than ever before. And obviously, as was the case with Rodrigo and Midland Scientific, you don't need just to take our word for it. We've seen some great impacts and results from a lot of our different clients. On the far right there, you see Midland Scientific, which Rodrigo highlighted, saw a great reduction in cost savings, but it's not just about cost savings. You'll see your products go to market faster, as was the case with Nux. You'll see higher levels of efficiency, like our client Kurt Geiger, higher average shopping baskets, like was the case with Heathrow Airport, and that can all add up to double-digit increases in sales and revenue, as was the case with Rural King. So obviously, PIM can be a big impact on your business and can really help you with that digital transformation that a lot of companies are going through. And I believe that will just about do it for the content that Rodrigo and I have provided. But I do believe a couple of questions have come down the line in the interim. So before we wrap up and let you all go back to your day, we'll try to get some answers to these questions. First one is for Rodrigo. Rodrigo, can you tell us a little bit about how Midland was able to train employees so quickly on how to use Akeneo PIM? That was obviously a pretty impressive part of your story, I think.
Yeah. So what we did, we had a couple meetings set up and just show them like the basics of how they would utilize Akeneo and go to different suppliers' website and confirm that the data was correct and enrich content. And also we were monitoring them on the first few weeks, just making sure that they didn't have any questions. Because one of the things that we noticed also is that sometimes people don't say anything, but they have questions and they're just afraid to ask. So we were monitoring during the first few weeks what they were doing and also going through the process for them just to make sure that they were understanding everything. But Akeneo itself they didn't have questions about Akeneo itself. Most of the process was straightforward, easy to use and easy to learn. Normally, most of the questions were related to the product itself, like questions about technical questions about where to collect the information, what this specific attribute means, was more towards to that.
Gotcha. Very interesting. And it looks like we have one more question coming across at the last minute here for Rodrigo as well. Rodrigo, would you talk a little bit about the integration with your new Magento 2 website? And I know you haven't unrolled it yet, but what do you expect to see when you do unleash it in terms of efficiency and any other benefits?
So yeah, we already completed the integration. It's something that integration is always a concern for when you are starting a new project, especially when you're creating a new website. But the integration with Akeneo was one of the easiest things that we had to do during the project because we found an extension that already would collect all the information from Akeneo and pass that through the website. So after that was just scheduling the jobs to transfer all the information and was something super easy to set up and something that we have control over it as well. So.
Gotcha. Great. Well, I think that is going to just about do it for Rodrigo and myself. Thank you all very much for taking the time to listen along with us today. And if you have any other questions, you can visit us at akeneo.com and find out more information there. So thanks again to Rodrigo and thanks again to all of you for joining, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.